Yes, we're back.
Yes, we are.
Big up the Burn Team family.
Yes, much love.
Hmm? And as we said yesterday, which was last night, this afternoon, this morning, or whenever you're looking at this live, it is about transgender and all these additives and
Yes.
acronyms.
Hi, Sherry.
Sherry is always first now on the draw.
Mm-hmm.
So big up everyone in the Burn Team family. And Chica will give you the LBGTI, whatever. Yeah? Whatever. Right?
LGBTQIA.
Yes. Big up Mr. Richardson. And it's a serious topic. You know, it's a touchy subject, and Burn Team style is always we look at the word, we get the definition of what it means, and then we see if it applies to us and how can we now understand this new dispensation of life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good night, Kafele.
Much love to the Burn Team family coming on. And this topic has been spoken about in all different styles of life. Religious connotations have bashed this scenario. Other people say it's a struggle. Other people say it's a mindset. Other people say they are born this way. So we are going to start this series because we cannot cover everything in one live. It's too broad. And in researching and seeing what other countries think about it, we are in the Caribbean, of course. Big up Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Yeah? And we have looked upon this from the view of other persons in different countries, continents, and how they deal with this new but old way of life.
Yes.
So, it could be a short life, it could be a long life.
Yes, it all depends on the viewership.
Right? So, place in the comment sections. Now we want respectful, we want decent, because we're trying to look at other people's point of view, we're trying to look at other people's perspective.
Yes.
So as we enter into this interesting topic, we will now try to get the definition of what is really gender.
Yes. So, let's start. So, gender, it is the socially or culturally defined ideas about masculinity and femininity, right? And when we speak about masculinity and femininity, this is where we speak about roles, attributes, behaviors of, what people how people expect a male or a female to behave.
Big up Nigel James.
Yes, big up.
Much love, my brother. In all forms, we don't say brother from another mother, we just say brother and call it that. Yeah? I hope you understand the topic today, my brother, so feel free to weigh in. Feel free to give your comments, how you feel about this movement, and it's about transgender. So the first word we would use is gender, and Shika gave us the definition of gender.
Yes. So for those of you all who are coming in, just know that gender is the way society or the way the culture believes, the ideas they have of how a male or female should behave, should dress, should, the roles and how, person should carry about themselves.
But before this word gender, there is another word that has a root word, which is trans. So if you looked up on the title today, tonight, this morning, whenever you look at it, it is transgender.
Yes.
So trans comes from the root word transformation.
Trans, a lot of different things.
Transformation, that's why we have transgender and transsexual, because it is a transformation. Yes? So Chica, tell me, what is your
What are my
what is your views on this?
Now, my views when it comes to anything considering gender identity, when it comes to person's sexuality, all those things are, in my view, right, decisions, choices that you will make of yourself. So, as I mentioned earlier, some persons believe that they are born that way, right? And some persons may even say, well, it's a choice. Everybody have their own reason. So if somebody is a transgender or even a transsexual, you have to find out from that person where they stand. If it is they believe that they were born that way, or if it was a choice in having, being a transgender.
That was a deep breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to ask.
This has been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
But I think the rise of social media and awareness and people now, as we say, coming out of the closet or from that hiding place, it is becoming a little more prominent in society.
Yes.
Some people might say it's a mental disorder, some people might say it's a choice.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's people.
Lives. People is not a thing, they are still people.
Yeah.
And that is why we're having this discussion, because they are still people.
I think this discussion should be ongoing because the young people view it a different way, the elders.
Definitely view it a different way.
Yeah, and I think the elders come from that deep-rooted, religious background and will speak very ill of such ideas.
Yes. And I think it's only when it reaches the home, right? So, people say it's only when it reaches your doorstep, then you know how you're going to deal with the situation. That's what they will say, a situation, right? And because now society is changing, culture is changing, a lot of things are changing. We are in an era, of change. There are some even parents, we know that before, parents, they wouldn't accept a boy, their boy child, putting on a dress or even high heels. And we know that it have a certain stage in life that children are very curious and they try on everything So you'll see girls putting on their father's boots and boys may just try on their mother's heels and makeup. Now people, please note, now we know it have a lot of, when it comes to the LGBTQIA community,
There's a mouthful of people.
Right? There are a lot of things to discuss. Right? There are a lot of, underlying issues, underlying emotions, and, a lot of things to talk about when commented, right? And so we must be mindful that not all transgender may be a homosexual. So some people will say transgender, one time they put them in the bracket of being a homosexual. It doesn't necessarily mean they are sexually attracted to someone of the same sex. So please know that. And transgender, they don't only have trans woman, meaning male transforming into female, or let us say masculinity into femininity, and there are also women who identifies themselves as male. So you will see a man, and you might say, how we what's the word?
Effeminate.
No, not that word.
What word?
You know, how they do it. I can't remember the word right now. Like, you know, like a flay, you know, he always giving a flay. Right? So you see, it's now
I
they
understand what you're
say,
saying, yeah.
like how this fella can like a woman so, right? So you'll find that how he's speaking like that. Now there are different things. So now when it comes to transsexual now, transgender, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to go through any hormonal procedures or any surgeries, but they do have some that do go through, you know, surgical procedures. And even like, let us say a woman, if it is she wants to, she finds she's, you know, more masculine, she may even get hormones so that her voice will become more deep. She may dress as society say a man should dress, right? And we know that it have men that, you know, will dress, they love the heels, they love the, they love the makeup, they love the nails, right? So you'll find that they are doing things that people say, nah, that woman thing, oh, nah, that is a man thing. Yeah.
And we are in a society that has not yet understood that type of behavior.
Yes.
And again, this is about our point of view. So whenever you're looking at it, feel free to comment.
Yes.
Feel free to put your information in the inbox, because we're going to continue dealing with this, because I think it is relevant.
Yes, it is.
And I think it's important for us to deal with respect.
Yes.
For our fellow human. Because my beliefs don't have to be Chica's beliefs, but we can still coexist.
Exactly.
I shouldn't be pressing my views upon Chica, because we should be able to agree to disagree and still live in harmony.
Exactly.
So if you're looking at this on YouTube, remember to subscribe.
Yes.
If you're looking at this on Facebook, remember to like and share. It's about emotional fitness, physical fitness, mental fitness, and we try to add a platform where people can share their views without being hated on, without being looked upon badly, without being judged.
Yes.
I might have a view in my mind, that does not mean I am going to judge you for yours. So, people who come in on the live, who you know, listening, feel free to put what are your views about transgender in the comments, and feel free to express yourself.
Exactly.
Because if we don't share point of view, we will not grow.
Yes. And as we were saying, that, you know, be one person, so, you know, respect others, right? And sometimes people, they look so much for similarities that they do not appreciate differences. And I think that's, you know, where there's a breakdown in society, because people do not appreciate differences. They think that if someone is different, they might say, okay, they could add to the table, but to just brush the person off, right? But remember that everybody has a role, everybody has a function, everyone has a purpose, right? Whatever that purpose may be. And the person, not because the person may not share your same belief system, does not mean that they are what we will call a good person. In other words, right? They might be a very kind person. They may be very humble. So not because they might see, because we know in our society in Trinidad and Tobago and in the Caribbean, we have not yet fully accepted, you know, persons of the LGBTQIA community. So that is L for lesbian.
Right, we're breaking it down. We're breaking it down.
G for gay, B for bisexual, so that's LGBT for transgender. Right? T. Q for queer. I for intersex.
Wow.
Right? A for asexual. Right? LGBTQIA.
And as I said, Burn Team will be dealing with the different. So it will be there for whoever wants to really understand what is going on and not just be biased. It's good, you can have a bias, but it's good just to understand what they're dealing with right now. Society has taken a very strange turn. So being devil's advocate, I've always been regardless. So Chica, you have a child. a girl child, and she tends to put on the boy clothes. What you gonna do about that? And in the same breath, we remember children are blank slates.
Yes.
They come to us blank, so we have to mold them, right? So my question is, how would you treat with that, knowing that you deal with children as well? So let's say as a student, comes to you and say, I have these kind of thoughts or whatever. How does a person deal with that, whether it be from a parent's perspective or just an uncle or a friend or a stepfather or a stepmother or somebody who has that kind of love and wants unbiased information to assist in that type of parenting?
All right. So now, if it is, well, they just know you cannot already question directly at me. So I'm going to speak for if it is, right? Because you know that I do not have any children of my own.
Students, yes. Students.
Right? But I do have students who call me mommy.
Right.
Right?
All lies part of parenting.
So let us say I do have experience where that, that will be my experience. One, I will not judge a child. You have to listen, do not, because now people read you. Now if it is a comment out judgmental and biased, I say, no, you see that kind of thing? I don't want that kind of thing around me. Right? So we know that I will beat that out of you. You see that possession you have? I hear what that. You need to get yourself in order. It's a boy, it's a girl, act like it. That's not, no, that is his style.
That's our style in the West Indian culture.
Yes.
Big up Lisa Andrews.
Good evening, Lisa.
Right? Two most wonderful people. Lisa has always been around, yes? So Lisa, put in the comments what you think about transgender and what is your stance on it, your true beliefs, right?
Yes. So, what you like to do is find out from them, how it is you feel. What you want to know. Tell me more about how it is you want to express yourself, so that you'll be able to get an understanding of where the child stands. Sometimes it just might be a phase. It doesn't mean to say that they would like to dress that way, and you have to show some form of acceptance and ask, how can I, make you more comfortable during this part of your life? And when you do that, so even if it approaches that way, so even if it's a phase or not, they will be able to come to you. Now, showing people, Lisa, yes, give respect, but when it hits home, as the saying goes, you treat with it differently, right? Because Lion might say, oh, yes, he might be comfortable with other persons being transgender, but if it is his child, and you see, now one thing for a girl to be dressing like a boy or being tomboyish, but you see, when it comes to the male, that boy child, dressing as you will consider it feminine as a woman,
problems.
That's where the problem.
People, if that was me, I beat it out of it.
Yeah.
This is a very important platform, and we will carry on the series, and we will have people who advocate for this community and would share some of maybe the myths or the legends or some of the things, because it is coming up to us all who have kids. We're not here to bash anybody, and we're here to make no bacchanal. I like bacchanal when it comes to having fun, but I'm not taking a topic and turning it into a bacchanal just to have a million people like it. Right? And I'm gonna do that. Right? So, message board.
So we have Lisa saying, I think they are just human like everybody else. So now Lisa, we want you to, we know that you have a son, right? So please tell us, if it is your son, starts dressing, you see him putting on a makeup, right? We know you love the nails and thing, and you see him put on, let us say just happen to have a way home, and you see him put that on and put on one of his sexy dress.
I seen so much licks over that beginning.
Right, Lisa? Tell us, what will you do in that case? Sherry, same for you. So all the parents online who have boy children.
Sherry, what would you do?
Yes.
St. Louis.
Hi, Yvette.
So, Right?
Right? So all of you who have children, boys to be specific, please let us know because we know the girls are not under pressure in this case, right? Please, like not too much as the boys when it comes to transgender. Or maybe you can let us know how you will treat with both.
Right now, this is happening in the schools. This is a very, very, very important topic and a very, very important platform because it's happening in the schools right now.
Yes.
And I think we turn a blind eye. We're focusing on all kind of different things, politics and COVID-19 and all these things. But this is going to come home to us.
Yes.
Right? So we need to know how to treat with it. No. I know old school. If I did put on a wig and a heels, my mother isn't condoning that. I would have been running all the road. And that's the old school method. Now what I would say is that children are blank slates. So I would now put forward that the age of the child would play the role.
Yeah.
Right, the message board.
So we have Lisa saying he is more on the other side, but all they need is love. Lisa, we're not sure what it is
Lisa,
saying to us.
now this is the question.
Yes.
The question is, people on the live who have children, if you have a boy child and he starts to dress like a girl, how would you deal with that? Put it in the comment section, real simple.
Yes.
Because the topic for today is transgender. And we're going to deal with the entire plethora so that we can have some information for burn team members, family, that type of thing. Right?
Right. So Lisa is now saying if it is her son, she will take it hard.
And that is the majority of us. Yes? Because of how, we were brought up.
So we have
Beautiful.
Yvette giving her point of view saying that that's not right in the sight of God. I will not accept it.
And the point of view is always taken well in burn team. But what I would ask Miss Yvette, right, is how you're going to deal with the situation. Because what is happening is they are allowing children, the schools now are opening up to this type of behavior, whether you like it or not, it's happening in our schools, right? And we need to know. I would ask myself, I would want information based upon what age, right? Because to me, if you be the child will just go into the closet and continue doing what the child wants to do. Licks don't affect children anymore. Eh?
No, it doesn't.
They will hide and do it. So I'm thinking, if you get to understand what's going on in the mind of the child.
Yes.
Yes?
So Sherry said they dress to express themselves and they sometimes hide it because of the hate and judgment. They may be born as a boy or girl, but their hormones may be different. And that causes some of them to be afraid of being who they really are. So in terms of Sherry's point of view, we are seeing that there's a very high possibility that she's very open to, her children expressing themselves as they would like to. Now, so earlier on, in terms of responding to Yvette saying, it is not right in the sight of God, we still want to know, so yes, you will have that view. But if it is your child, so Yvette is saying, I will keep praying and asking God for his guidance.
And this is where I be devil's advocate, Miss Yvette, because this is the reason for the platform. Right? This is the reason why we want to deal with all these different genders and gender biases and all the different scenarios, because us as parents, we need to know how. Yes, we would pray. Nobody is saying give good vibration to your child, but God does not affect free will. If you know and you go into the reality, God will affect free will. Everyone has the choice, right? So
we have Sherry saying that you have to give the support they need most. We have Sissy saying it's a psychological issue.
So again, people, if you're now logging on, this is Burn Team.
Real talk.
Mental health, physical fitness. We're trying to be fit. And I asked Chika today, what you think fit is, what you fit for, and we trying to be fit for life.
Yes.
And this right now is a part of life. Parents, auntie, sister, it don't matter. You have children, you don't, it's a
Still
part
of
of
your
life.
life.
And we need to be fit. And fit means what? Able to handle.
Yes.
So when somebody say fit,
Are you
really fit
Yeah.
to handle life now in 2020 going into 2021? And the subject is transgender, and we're going to deal with all of them. So I don't know how long it's gonna be in the series, but we're going to, because I really think this information is important, and we should get the relevant information. So again, Cece, if your child is exhibiting different behaviors, what would you do? Comment in the comment section, because we want to get perspective. We want to get perspective. All the parents, auntie, big sister, big brother, husband, listen, we need to. Because if all we say and God don't like that and we be the child, it's not going to help the child. No. Again, my view is we must get people on the live that deal in this parameter, and we would have people coming on the live to speak about this type of vibration. Yes?
So we have Lisa saying, it will hurt you as a parent, and yes, we make our son and want to be a girl, but you will find yourself crying because you are hurt. Now, Lion mentioned a very important factor, which is the age factor. Now, if it is your child is
18?
No, I went start with 18. Let us say your child is 4 years old, right? Very young. Or even, between, that toddler stage, the infant stage, they are very curious. And they pay attention to everything that is around them. Right? So they may see, now they may have more females around them. I'm just saying. Let me finish now. I know you grew up with only sisters. Let me finish. Right? And they're just curious as to what the makeup is, feel like, how does it look? And they decide that they're going to try that out. They put on the dress and everything. Now, after this, I will try and find it. I'm going to drop a link to a movie. I cannot remember the name of it right now. But it's a very nice movie where this boy, he started dressing like what people, of course, society will say as, as a woman, right? And I think it would be a nice movie for you to watch. Now, we are really moving away from there because we don't have that situation where we have too many, at least not in South, not that I'm aware of, how many hate crimes we have against persons of the LGBTQIA community, right? No. Parents, we know about parents. Let us not go there. We know about parents in the majority, right? So Sherry's saying God make everyone different, so we just have to accept everyone as they are. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Very, very open.
Yes,
and well, as you say, eloquent.
Yes.
Moving. So I'm bringing it back to reality now. Right? Children are blank slates. We direct their view. What I would say is that according to the home you are in, let's say it's a Christian home, a Muslim home, right? Yes, Lisa, right? According to the home you're in and the values you would put on your child. So if you're a Muslim, you'll put Muslim values. If you're a Hindu, you'll put Hindu values. If you're a Christian, you'll put Christian values. That's just the way it is. What I would suggest, is allow the child to show what the child is going through and observe and then intervene. Cece.
Counseling. I'll first try to figure out why the child is operating this way. Most children do not openly speak to their parents, but trained professionals, psychologists will help. Then move on from there. Now, what we'll see is a view that, okay, so Sissy said, it's a psychological issue. Some believe it is a mental issue. Some believe, listen, you see that is just plain nonsense. They even want to know what type of issue it is. Now, plenty of people look at it as an issue and not the person just expressing themselves. A lot of persons just look at it as an issue. So now the question is it really an issue for a male to dress as female or as a female to dress as a male? Now remember, gender, right, just has to do with how society believes a man and a woman should behave, should dress, etc. That is just society. You are an individual. So imagine if our culture allowed men to wear dress, we could wear anything we want, whether we are male or female, then it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
But because of society, being transgender becomes an issue, and I think that is the issue.
Again, very passionate vibrations from the females when coming to the defense of a mental scenario. What I would, as we listening to point of view, my point of view again would always be, it would really come to the age of the individual, right? Because we might have one view, I might have another, Lisa has another, Cece has another. A psychologist would do an evaluation on the child's mental fitness, the ability of the child. If the child is not expressing any violent behavior, the child is still normal. A psychologist
You say nothing is wrong.
will say nothing is wrong.
He just expressing himself.
It sounds nice saying take him to a psychologist or take her to a psychologist, but
Yeah.
right? What I would say is that your home will reflect your belief system. Your home will reflect what, and then when the doctor looks down, he'll say it's a boy or it's a girl. Let me don't forget that part.
That is sex.
Right? That is sex.
Because of the
Remember, when we're talking about gender, so sometimes we put gender and sex
together
in the same category. So Burn Team always deals with the words used.
Yes.
Message board.
We have Lisa saying, but my point is how the child father will take it knowing that his son is transgender. And she say, yes, sometimes they do go to someone else to talk because their parents cannot accept it. And that is why earlier I was saying, speak to the child. Accept the child for who they are at that point in time rather than beating it out of them, right?
Yeah, and that is our West Indian culture. And then we would use God as the catalyst. And then what? The child goes into... Then you need a psychologist.
Yeah, because now you might not have had to go to a psychologist in the first place.
You'll end up there.
You would have had now a good relationship with the child, and the child would be more open and they will say, this is really a phase I'm going through, because you'll find that some persons, they just go through phases.
So if you're looking at this, joining us, people, welcome. This is Burn Team again, and we are speaking about transgender from the series of this interesting phase of humanity. Yes, and parents, we are now coming upon a new thing to deal with. This is very serious business, and from the Caribbean standpoint, our style is not ready for this type, and I think this platform would be a good place now to start to get people adjusted, and because it is coming, it's here, the school system has allowed it in, and we have to find ways now in coping with this new normal. Here in the mask is a new normal, it has more new normals to come, right? So we pose the question, all who are on the line, right? Place in the comments if your son or your daughter starts to dress to the opposite sex, what will you do? We're trying to get perspective. Your son started dressed like a woman, or your daughter started dressed like a man. What you going to do as the parent, the elder sister, the auntie, the stepmother, the father, the step uncle, grandfather, father? What is your response to that? Yes?
Good night, Sonali.
Big up Miss Bartholomew, and you heard the question, so you tell me what you will do your pumpkin, right? If she come and start dressed like a boy, and your brother call you and tell you, hey, things bad. Right? She wanna get on like a boy. Right? So that's the question. So Chica gave her, so she gave you the elite answer.
The elite answer.
Because, it had no little one comment to say, Mommy! Right? So, me, personally,
Yes.
I am being from, I am being honest, I would want to strangle you, right? I would want to hold you and get it out of you now, boy. Yes, but the right thing is that you really want to get closer. I think as a parent, you need to get closer to the child. So you don't want to put the child in a defensive mode, even though it bothering you. Message board.
So Sherry is saying sometimes the boys just want to experiment because they grew up with sisters. But when they really reach that age, they just show who they are in full. And that is true, right? So it's sometimes just an experiment. They're just curious. Sometimes that's just a stage. And you will even see that because people are so uncomfortable, even if it's just an act, let us say there's a skit going on, and they need a male to act as a female role, it's like, nah. And I went through that. I ain't just like no woman. Right? So you'll get guys, saying that, and then they will have some guys that are very comfortable and they wouldn't even care because, listen, it's just a role. We're just doing our little play. Right?
You know what I think? Society only accepts it when it's comedic. When Tyler Perry just up like Medea, we don't say nothing. We just go watch the movie and laugh and turn over ourselves. When the Wayans brothers just up as two white chicks in that movie, we peeling myself with laugh. Anytime it's comedic, we are understand. But it is serious now.
Yeah. So we have Sherry saying, I'll accept it because I don't want to lose that trust for them to come and talk to me and say how they really feel. And that is very important. You do not want to lose the trust that your child has in you. Because you believe that, okay, my child can come and speak to me about anything. But you see, when the parents are very religious, children find it very challenging to go and speak to their religious parents. They're very religious parents, right? I can speak from experience. Right? So, we have Sherry making a very important point. She don't want to lose that trust. As Diane just said, you want to become closer to them. Right? You don't want to put them at the side, throw them out, because they have some parents that do that. Age factor again, they might reach 18 or 19, they may still be living in their parents. And they say this nonsense, I ain't taking that, get out. This is Sodom and Gomorrah kind of thing. Those are the words you will hear from parents who grew up in a certain, or context. Even a certain era. They may not be religious, but they have that belief system that man shouldn't put on heels, dress, and makeup. Right? Let's go to the message board. Lisa saying sometimes too is like 5 girls and 1 boy, so you will find that in some instances. So she is agreeing with Sherry in some instances. Not Lion. He did not put on no dress and no makeup. He tried to put on dress and makeup, and he just didn't let nobody know about it.
I used to thief the dollies and bone up the hair and there. Right. So to my sisters who watching, that's how the dollies here. Right. So again, it is mental. And I'm not saying it's an illness. It is a mental view. So that's why this platform is now points of view. But in a child's scenario, it is a mental view of how they perceive the reality they are coming into contact with. And remember, children now are now open to a lot of bombardment from the media, from the cartoons, from everything. Remember, they are blank slates. And they get all the cable and all the internet to watch all these cartoons and all these different things that have an impression on their point of view in their mind. If you look at mental patients or people who commit serious crime, it is a mental view of the reality that they're in. Some interviews they had with some serious serial killers, they didn't even see the wrong in what they was doing, you know, because it's a mental view. Message board, oh you'd say, right? It's a mental view. Hence we saying get closer. So now you could assess the situation, get closer. So now you could steer, because remember you're a parent, right? Now again, the child is not gonna stay a child. The child is going to be of an age where they can make decisions on their own. And I think that has rifts in it, because you now turn 18 and you're telling your father, you know, and that is why we need this platform, because children are gonna stay children. Yes, they are blank slates, you could direct their paths, but there will come a time when they could choose. So I'm asking parents, aunties, women, because we only have women on the line right now. One man, I think, come on board, right? So, your boy child or your girl child, of the age, let me say 17 going into 18.
Yeah.
And now they want that to be their lifestyle. What you guys gonna do? Put it in the comments and give us some kind of idea. Chica, what will you do?
Well, for me, right, I mean, I don't have any, so I can't really talk.
The students.
Right? Oh, they are not living in the same house with
No,
me.
I'm not saying living in the same house, remember.
Well, how are dealing with them on a
Oh, you're
day-to-day
dealing
basis?
with them.
Oh, well, I mean, for me, I will accept the person for who they are. And I will even ask them how it is they are dealing with it. Who are they, speaking to? Are they comfortable really expressing themselves in that way? And you know what made them, made that choice? Has this always been a part of them? Has this always been inside of them to express themselves in that manner? Those would be my, questions. So Sherry is saying, for me, I used to dress like a boy, right? I was younger and never liked makeup, but I lost my brother, and I just so his clothes for my mom to feel like he was still here. But as I grew older, I wanted to dress up and look pretty and good in a dress and heels. So we seeing here that Sherry is saying, in her case, she did that because of the loss of her brother, right? Which would have been at a considered a young age, right? And she wanted her mom, because her mom was experiencing that loss as well. She wanted her to feel as if her brother was still there to help,
go through that pain.
Yeah. And then she realized, okay, I need to, I am female, I want to dress up and, look pretty. I want to feel feminine, because she is a feminine female, right? We have Lisa saying, most children, they commit suicide when no one wants to listen, meaning that they fail society, and that is very...
We'll deal with that, the suicides,
Now we have Sonali saying, first and foremost, I will ensure that my angel face know that I love her no matter what. Then we are going to have a serious sit down, discuss what are her current feelings, what are her thoughts, and what's really going on.
Which is good, that you get to the bottom or the root. And because of how we were growing up, all of us, we have an already predisposed view already.
Yeah.
Society has a predisposed view, and it's hard because we're using loved ones. Loved ones as a stranger. If your sister come and tell you all of a sudden, that's going on your view, right? And Sherry, using that to help mommy through was excellent as well. And I think we really, really need to think about it from a home perspective, because when we think about how we were raised, there are people committing a lot of crimes against people with this view. Just because they don't share your view doesn't mean it gives you the right now to go and commit a crime of violence, because we ain't tolerating that. Right, so Chica, your sister. I mean, let me deal with it.
No, as I just said.
Baby sister, tell you.
As I just said,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to transgender and females becoming a trans man, now you can't turn up, now, as we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
some persons go through hormonal, they do surgical procedures,
Yeah.
etc., right? But to turn a vagina into a penis is like real hell, right? No, because they go through the whole sex change because they are feeling so masculine. They may decide that they want to get, seem like they have broader shoulders. But I mean, you already have, some person already have a structure where we know you can tell the difference from a man or a woman. So some people do some hormonal changes. So they may get more testosterone, so they could have deeper voices, etc. Right, as in the case of a woman. Now, if it is not going through that procedure, and they decide that they just want to wear shirt, tie, pants, people don't look down too much on women who dress that way. They might just it wouldn't they wouldn't dwell upon it for too long. That's just my view. But in that case, if it is my sister decides that's how she wants to dress, that's how she wants to dress, she's at an age factor where she can make her own decisions on how it is she wants to express herself.
So if you're looking at this on YouTube, this is Burn Team Real Talk, and it is about transgender, and we are dealing with it in a partly series because it is necessary for all who have loved ones, kids. We're growing up in a society which is changing, and it's already changed in certain countries.
Yeah.
We still a little more in the back end. We're in the back end of what is going on. If you look at New York, all these first world countries, this is what it is. You could get a case, they could get locked up because it's human rights.
Yeah.
Right? So, even though the topic is touchy, are you comfortable with this change in society? So people comment in the comment section. Now we're seeing what's going on in society. Are you guys comfortable with it? Do you like it? Do you wish it go away? What are your views on that? And really, can we really live in a world now with this type of diversity? We couldn't even live in a world where race.
And we just experienced it recently with a lot of racial tension in Trinidad and Tobago.
To add another paradigm, how can we now cope with this scenario? So, if you look at it on Facebook, share this because you really want perspective, people. Because when this thing COVID just done and schools reopen, there's a new.
Yes, Lisa, you are thinking along my lines. So I was just thinking, transgender doesn't really hit people too much. And if it is, we go to speak about sexuality. Now that.
So my point is that's why we're dealing with it on a foundational. We can't
yes.
just jump to juice.
Yes.
You see, that's the problem. Because every platform on Facebook, I realize, they just want to jump into a juice thing and make it a big bacchanal, and 100 million people look at it, and we learn nothing. Right? We learn nothing. So this is about learning, growing, and being fit to deal with what's happening. That's why I took it from whom? I took it from your children, your nephew, your niece, your brother, and your sister. Sexuality, it could be bacchanal. Right? So we're trying to get the one foot in front of the other.
Yes. No, Lisa was just saying that she would like the next topic, to be by sexuality, which will, and now all those things really go under one umbrella, right? The gender identity and sexuality, they have them under one umbrella, right? So of course, transgender, why we have to look at it as, like I said, the foundation, right, is so that people understand what is gender, right? Hi, John. We have to understand what gender is, the difference between gender and sex, and we know that sex has to do with the biological characteristics of an organism. So we know that the men, they have certain characteristics, the women have certain characteristics. So point blank, men have penis, women have vaginas. Right? Why are you looking at me like that? Right? I know that I said I just being so nobody can miss it. Alright, now when it comes to gender, we are speaking. So for those of you who would have missed it, gender, we are speaking about how persons in society, so it's a societal and cultural thing.
John is dramatized. Right? So people, for those of you all who missed it, it is really setting the foundation for what is to come in the topics at hand, because we took it from whom? Your son, your daughter, your brother, your sister, your father, your mother. Imagine your father coming and telling you, I'm getting a divorce from your mother because, well, die the vibes. And in reality, the way our society has trained begonians, we have not yet become mature enough to agree to disagree. I might have my beliefs. That's my beliefs. I must be mature enough to respect another person's beliefs. Because if I am a Christian and I have a friend who is a Muslim, we have to coexist in this world. So we must be able to respect each other.
Yes.
I am black and the others is whatever colors. I have to respect their vibration, whereas they should respect our vibration. And as we just said, we even getting the race right yet. To add this paradigm, right? To add this paradigm, very, very interesting. So Lisa wants the next topic to be bisexual or sexuality.
So that will cover bisexual. We will cover sexuality in that segment. John is saying, I'm afraid to comment because the powerful bigwigs more into that vibes, and it is contagious. So John,
you comment how you want,
just in a respectful manner.
But we must respect each other.
Yes.
Right? So if you have your view, it's okay.
Yes, just respectfully.
And put it across, because we need to grow. This is something very me. I myself need to kind of grow a little bit in understanding this age that we're living in. Some of us might hope we go, they say bring back the old times. Some of us, the age that we are now in. Very, very strange. And then you have children coming up in this age, and now they are more bombarded. I wasn't so bombarded by TV and social media.
And because they are trying to have persons more sensitized to the upcoming new norm, that's why they are putting it in all the TV shows, in the music,
I stopped watching HBO,
long time it didn't have shows it didn't have those type of shows.
I dramatize. I think it's our oversensitization. Because regardless of what you put in these movies, people, because of their social upbringing, still have their view.
Yes, and that is what we are saying. Gender just has to do with how society believes a male or female should carry about themselves. That is what it is. Because it has some persons, they may not dress, they may not be transgender in the term of way they are dressing like the opposite sex. But what you may see, it will have some men who have some quite, what they will consider feminine qualities. It have some men love to be very neat. They find sometimes some people, they cannot believe men, they don't really take care of themselves, that self-care. They go, they get a massage, they go and do a manicure and a pedicure, right? People don't find men should do that, and that is okay.
I like to be pampered. Right?
You can go and be pampered. Nobody's saying no, but some people consider that being feminine.
Message board.
We have John. I like woman beating me. Yes, sorry. I respect all, but if we go to that vibes, man will not be able to reproduce. We're going to be minimizing the population, but that is part of the plan. But everything is tied to an agenda, and that is the thing. So we are talking about transgender and not sexuality. So in that case, John is kind of like touching on men having sex with men, or homosexuals. Now, that is why sexuality is really a different topic, but we're speaking about transgender, in where persons express themselves, their feminine side or their masculine side, that type of thing.
So what I think John is touching on is an agenda. When we talk about agenda, we're talking about plans, right? And as he mentioned before, the ruling class always have an agenda.
Yes.
But as I would tell you, John, we are many and they are few. And I think that is the problem. Until we start to hold our leaders accountable, they hold the power. Whereas the people hold the power. Now, if a group of people choose, because they are of the age to live a particular way, that's their choice. But the lifestyle cannot be pressed upon our entire world. I could be as influential as I can. Let's say I'm the most influential person in the world. The problem is choice. I still have to choose to be a part of that vibration. Now, if there are people peacefully and doing their own scene, not pressing their lifestyle on another group of people, that is fine. So the bigger heads can have whatever agenda they want. We are still many, right? So we have the choice. We talked about choice yesterday.
Yes.
We have the choice. And as we filter into the next topic, that would be sexuality. That would take on now a different connotation, because sexuality and gender don't really go hand in hand.
Exactly.
Right? It don't go hand in hand. So transgender, transsexual, right? She can talk about people taking the hormones, people changing their body parts, right? To suit, again, I would say, what is going on up here. So for all the parents out there, we know it coming in the schools, try to get in here. If you just beat them and tell them God will like that or whatever is the case, they're going to go inside themselves and they're going to block you out. Especially when these children at a tender ages, they are very impressionable. They are blank slates. Only when they are old enough to make their own decisions, then you have to kind of come to the acceptance and be mommy and daddy and sister and uncle and grind your teeth, because you know you like it. But that is where the love we talk about comes in.
That agape love.
Hello? Right? That is what it is.
Just like listening, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So people, you say listening and me saying people. Right, we plan to join. Yeah, so the topic is transgender. Gender meaning behavior.
How society believes people.
So you really now think about it. Chica using an extremely powerful word. We like to deal with words here. I am saying what society views. Chica is saying what society don't use that power. You see that power? Believes. Now that has its place. Here why? Here why? When you're a child, remember you're a blank slate. You're a blank slate. See how serious I am? Because we cannot make the mistake. We cannot be two on one side and not keep it balanced. When you're a child, you're a blank slate. You are now directed by your parents' belief system. Hindu, Muslim, whatever it is. And whatever laws govern that. Right? That is the child's point of view. You now need to get closer to the child to understand the child's point of view and now make an influential parental decision, because you are still the parent in this thing. It's not up to the child, right? Only when the child becomes of the age where the child can now make a decision as an adult, then it changes from view to belief. I want to get this correct. Get this real correct. I ain't two in the line, you know me, I going straight in. Baby, try no kind of thing. No, they go throw on anything, they know what's going on, right? As they grow, you get closer to the child. You learn. You be loving, you be caring, you be understanding. You see the 15, 16, you start to observe. Because you have done all you can. 17, 18, the child has now moved from point of view to belief. And the most powerful thing in this world is belief. If somebody believes in something hard enough, 9 out of 10 times it has come to pass. You see, when you put that energy, so if the person, it have some of the people from the community, you will hook them up to a lie detector test. And they will come out telling the truth, there's female when there's male. Because they believe. When people start to say they're born that way, it is going from point of view to belief.
Yes. So, gender. Yes, like we heard you. Right? So gender is the way that, society believes how male and female should act. So we're talking about femininity and masculinity. So you always see sometimes on forms you'll see sex and then you will see gender. So sex is male or female and gender is masculine or feminine. And we have females too that it just may be a little thing. They may have some masculine tendencies as well. Right? That's why they will call some girls tomboys. They like to go and climb trees. They like to hide. Some people find that is a boy thing, that is a man thing. They might go hunting. It might have females who want to go hunting. People will still consider that masculine. Right?
So if you're looking at this on YouTube, remember to subscribe. And if you're looking at this on Facebook, feel free to like and share the page. The topic is transgender.
Right, so we go into the message board. We have John saying, people live in fear of the persons in power. Imagine if the corrupt persons paying you for a job till they say they only want persons that living a certain lifestyle to work for them. Pressure is all about how much a person could deal with, yes? But me, I a Taurus, that old school, and I real stubborn to the wrong things. We have Lisa saying, how will they answer God for judgment? And then we have Kevin saying, some children don't feel them as woman and man. Why? Because some of them don't have a father in their life.
Very good, Kevin. I have spoke about the male in any family. Because, we had to split up ourselves sometimes. Uncle had to step in. He's our uncle and then he's our daddy too. And then we had to split ourselves in about 10. But I ain't nothing. Reflexing. The reality of it is, the way a male will attack a topic is different. If you notice the difference, look at how Chica is dealing with the topic and look at how I am dealing with the topic. And you need that type of balance. Because if you're too this way, and if you're too my way, so at some point in time, especially the crucial moments of a child, and that is why John would say that the influence, where's the agenda? Because no, every cartoon now have that kind of connotation. Every movie is oversensitization. Right? We understand that all of us are human. But you know why it is that all this energy is placed, and I would say that too, to sensitize this particular issue, when race should be sensitized as well. So to them and those, we put in so much in the movies about equality for a certain connotation. But I think that it should have that same energy for the racial connotation.
As well as for persons with disabilities.
And persons with disabilities. Right? So again, even though the topic is transgender, transsexual, and we leaving out the trans, are only hearing one part of the word. And that is a problem. Because they can't just keep saying gender. Gender. Society says gender. No, it is transgender. That puts a whole spin on the topic. It is transgender. It is transformation. It's not just gender, what society views a man and what society views a woman. It is transforming from one behavioral pattern to the next.
Right, so we break down what is trans and what is gender. Right? So basically, transgender now is persons that we just saying, for example, a male, right, behaving,
transforming,
and transforming into what. That's why the gender come in. Society, they transform into more feminine qualities.
Yes.
They display more feminine qualities. And once they are, so they will consider them as trans woman. So that is the male transforming into woman. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do a surgical procedure to get breasts, because we know that they do have men, trans women, right, that do, they get breast implants, they take hormone therapy so that their voice wouldn't be as heavy as it normally is, and they will dress feminine, right? So that is the transformation. And then we have the females who will try to remove their breasts. So they're going through that surgical procedure, right? Some of them just may do a little breast reduction. Some of them may not. But you'll see that they may take hormonal therapy where they have, more heavy voices. And they may go and work out in the gym to have a more, what would be considered a masculine and manly look. And they will dress maybe in shirt and tie, baggy jeans. We know it's have men wearing skinny jeans now, but even if they're wearing a skinny jeans, they may,
have difference.
They will wear a shirt. They will wear. You'll know that is a t-shirt for a male, in other words, right? We have Lisa saying yes, the father role in the house is very important, and then Kevin is saying, but mothers also play both roles in the house too.
Yes, Kevin.
So, yeah. Right?
Kevin Hunt?
Yes, Kevin Hunt is
big up Kevin Hunt, man.
Yes, so we have both, as Lion just said, the male and female influence are very important for balance, because they each bring something to the table, and that's what people have to remember. So when people say, I can do this on my own, I don't need no man, and normally, as we would have spoken before, it's normally the women who speak in this way. When you find a man saying and passionate and saying, I can do it without a man, and I don't need no woman to raise no child, you'll find the woman saying these words that are putting in negative energy. No. Both male, whether it's uncle, whether it's father, because we know it have some unforeseen circumstances. The father might pass away, so you're going to say no man. It will have an uncle. It's still going to have some sort of male influence, a male role model, a male figure in both. And it is important not just for the boy child, but for the girl child as well, right?
So if you're now looking at transgender on the inside, burn team, mental fitness, physical fitness, emotional fitness, and like the page, man, because it's healthy conversation, and we really want to get certain things out in the air and hear people's point of view, hear people's perspective. Message board?
Everything is clean.
Nice. Right, so for the new people on the live, write in the comments what you would do if your son or your daughter starts to display the other gender's tendencies.
So we have John saying, leather belt, go balance the tail. Oh, but I'm sorry, those things are almost outlawed to some extent in these times. And then we have Sonali saying, so true, influence is a huge factor. As a girl growing up among only boys and playing with mostly boys, I did things such as climbing trees, shooting lizards and birds, skateboarding, setting traps in cane fields. But it wasn't until a certain age that my mother and grandmother stopped me and said it wasn't ladylike.
So again, according to the home you're in, it would lean more to a certain type of behavior, right? And it is very important for us to have this. For any person or any young persons in the home right now, regardless of what is the rule, we need to have this information there for people to, we must have this platform for people to have their views, because really you gotta get that belt. I gotta get that belt. If I'm thinking, my mother I think about it before my snap my back, right? So, children are blank slates, so we parent, we get close, we understand, we get inside the mind, and we try to divert it to what we, that's what, come on, that's parenting, right? We try to give them what we would really think is better for them. But coming up to the age where they are more able to make their own decisions, 17 into 18, you know the rebellious 13, the terrible 13, and you know what has happened, well, the problems, right? 17, 18, no, it turns from point of view to belief. Well, it's choices, yeah? I would say the problem was always choice. If we choose to rebel, we rebel. If we don't, we don't. But if I believe, and let me tell you something, and people, belief is a powerful thing. It has some of the most evilest things that was done on this earth because somebody believed it was right. Belief is a powerful thing. And to move from point of view to belief, after that, it's hard to influence the mind of your loved one. Right? Now, I'm not saying that should be your goal, but again, from the slate stage of that child, you are the parent. Even though you are the parent after it, after the child could make a decision on their own, you know what I mean? That would be, you now have to either love unconditionally, and most parents don't. And Lisa talk about the suicide rate. And that is true. The statistics for suicide among people in this bracket, extremely high. Because of the pressure of society. It is extremely high. Because they can't cope with the pressures that we.
It starts from home, from the parents. Right? Good night,
Carry on.
We have
pick up yourself.
Lisa saying, she's really enjoying this topic, and she talk about the best parenting. And people that take parenting now, as we say, you don't be them. You try to understand and grasp their point of view. Yes, they are blank slates, and you are the one who will direct and do all the diverting. And then some of them, they won't even come out. They won't even know that's how they're feeling,
Yeah.
Some of them, you will not know how they're actually feeling inside because they already know in their head. If it is I do this, or if it is I come out and say that.
Beat me. Fat daddy going and cut my skin.
They're even coming out. Some of them do not come out. And we even have now men that come out, they may be married. So, I can't remember which country it is, but there is a man, he wanted to express his feminine side, right? So he is transgender, he's married, he has children, and he goes out with his wife in his dress, dressed as a woman, and she is, comfortable with that, right? So,
you'll be comfortable.
Why are you pointing?
In the comment section, ladies who have boyfriends, or let's tell me, ladies who have boyfriends and husbands / people, man, anything that design, right? Yeah, what we stated. Date night come about. The man come for right? And he pull up in a hot black dress, a dress he was liking. He pull up in a hot black dress and a 6-inch heel, face well done, a wig. Type in the comment section what would be your
When you go out
response.
with that guy.
And my soldiers on the live, John, you ready for date night? Your gear's done, everything smelling good, looking good. You take your mark your way, straight out. You understand what I'm stating? Mama pull up here now, hey! You see she in a straight jeans, a square tip and a short sleeve shirt with a tie. How you running that scene?
Right? So, as Lion brought this up, right? So now there's gender fluidity. And there are some times where people will express, they will dress as a man or woman, and then there's the other time where they will dress based upon what, their sex then. They dress as female. So if it's a male, sometimes he dress as male, sometimes he dress as female. If it's a female, sometimes she dress as female, sometimes she dresses as a male. Some of them don't do it all the time.
Now in the comment
have a
section,
moment.
Chica always trying to be nice. In the comment sections, I want to know, guys, what you would do, and ladies, what would be your response? I want it proper. We know COVID, we are talking about the COVID section. If it didn't have any COVID and was date night, that was saying.
Oh my gosh.
Straight out.
John is saying, wrong house youth and at home. John, I feel you're supposed to be a comedian or something,
As we say, I mean, we're being real.
Yes.
And even though we do that comical, we take it, loosen up people now, because people kind of, I want them to say, why, I shouldn't say this, and that is the problem, Now, I know people of that persuasion in the female set, where I have been out with my soldiers, and the females that I know, they are of that persuasion. When I tell you, John, you know what I'm saying? When the gear's done, you're asking, hey, where you buy that shit? No, I telling you. They're dressing like guys, right? They are lesbians, right? And when they step out, I asking some of them, hey, where you buy that shit? That's what I'm saying. And that is not my belief system. And I will give them a bongs. Now the bongs in it. Real talk. Seen soul, yeah. Yeah, sir. If I didn't know they were female, the whole, as you say, gender, the whole vibration. And I still asking them whether they get that shit. Now you see, the thing is, my belief do have to be theirs. Yeah. But I am not discriminating. You want to touch your message board?
So we have Sonali saying, I would be who? Is you. You are not my date. Lisa said, but guys, you know Trinidad people, as they see people is a bust out and laugh. Me, I being real, I talking plain.
Right, and the reality is that is real. Now, let me spin the topic with the same topic I was talking about, it was Lyman. And I want to tell you how real this is. Some years ago, I won't call the place. Right, and on the message boards had to get a little warm. Right? Touchy message board before I continue.
So John is saying, I won't feel comfortable, to be honest. My chest is hurt. Because a man failed to lead them down the right path in the past.
Right. John, we got to talk about that. No. Same breath, we laughing. Same night, now they are twins. The young ladies are twins. Lesbian, they dressing like man. I am harassed, they harass. Same way. Right? They swear that is my brothers, Right. Lyman. And some people at the establishment realized that they were female. And literally, we training people. These are girls, Now they're dressing like guys. We talking guys and girls. Physically wanted to interfere with them. Now they are over on the other side, paying the money, buying the drink, they're not on nobody, they're relaxing themselves. And because they got wind, hey, them skills went across and one rest their hand on them.
That man
now we are a man. I'm a soldiers. Now, I do believe in that lifestyle. So people came out and talk about God and religion, and I understand that. But this is me. I know hail my partner. And they are my friends. This ain't no joke. But the female, how we dealing is like fellas, right? You know, we have your handshake, fellas, you know, the kind of thing, right? And we like it, and I looking across at males knowing these females now because they're dressing, and now it is now you rest your hand on them, and that is our society. Because when the man rest, imagine I lying with a female, I rest my hand on a female. First thing the female is, what you doing? Irregardless of how she dress, you ain't supposed to be resting your hand on nobody, children. But because you have this view and people, the females were agreeing. You know why? Because of the way society. So me and my boys know what, hey, them is girls, but irregardless, even though they expressing themselves in whatever way, we can't stand up now and watch fellas put their hands on these girls just because they don't like how they dress. That is not your business.
Exactly. And vice versa. And we see that, so because they dress like that, because they may have, they say, okay, I want to take it out of them. Some of them go as far as raping the woman.
Yeah.
And then we have where the men who will dress as women, they go as far as committing violent crimes. So they might just beat them to a pulp.
And the interesting thing about that scenario that night, you know what was the words they was using? God burn down a whole city for all here, you know. We go deal with all here.
Yeah, and that is a trend.
You see that Sodom and Gomorrah thing? We are getting into that, John, because touch Sodom and Gomorrah at a certain point in time. There is a woman dressed like a man, and she did not do anything. You don't have no authority from no God to do nothing here.
Exactly.
Me don't care if it's a Muslim, I don't care if it's a Christian, I don't go. That is somebody's child. And they mind in the business, as the man say, mind your business. You have no right to lash nobody and say God but no city for that and all kind of thing. That's why he's up a certain kind of line, because I could get myself in trouble because I'm not standing up. I mean, think about that kind of scenario. You see, and the women who line me with these guys encouraging instead of the women saying, hey, but there's a woman you're hitting. I talking in my country, eh? Yeah, message board.
So, Jonathan, let me live in my bubble, because I don't want those persons of those personality types to come at me, yes? Please, thanks.
Right? And again, in reality, it's another human.
Yeah. And I think people didn't, it's only, okay, so we had Sonali and John who answered, if it is someone of the opposite sex come out to take you on date night and they are actually dressed the opposite way or the way that you didn't expect them to dress, what will you do? So for those of you who just joined in life, ladies, will you go out with a guy face beat, as the saying goes,
Face beater.
right, and they dress to kill, sexy down,
High heel, slit up the leg,
yeah,
looking like $1,000,000. And you see, whereas we would be laughing, this is where the world is heading.
yeah.
If you look at high fashion now, all the ladies who enter high fashion, the clothes unisex, you know. They bring in that kind of context in, you know. So we made a joke and saying, if I seen some fashion that we guys encourage, I seen man with man, person
And rumpers.
and rompers, you know, fellas, and you know, hey, you swag dog, you're calling it swag. Think about this. The fellas who real masculine, dressing like that, you know, a swaggerific. Having a romper, but a swaggerific and a man purse. They call it man purse, you know. And look how easy. Now, I ain't saying nothing wrong with it. But for the guys who really into, you know, you like the gears down,
Yeah.
watch the gears down clothes, fellas. Just now we had a higher seamstress burn team will be providing clothes for that kind of vibes at some point. And we will be dealing with it according to
So
suit.
they're saying, that's why I said inside, Lisa, you are going to ask, you will have to ask that person what is their identity? You will need to ask them that question. Alright? I'm not going to call names on the live here in terms of any particular being, but you will have to ask the person for themselves.
We are the cat.
But in terms of that person, yes, they will be considered a transgender because they would have been male before and they would have, done the breast implants, etc. So yes, transgender. But then you will have to also ask if it is the, a homo. That is a question. We don't know. We cannot answer that question.
So John, I want to put something towards John on the live, talking to my soldiers or soldier at this present junction.
Yes, and Sonali is saying half the time those studs dress far better than those men.
Yeah. Understand? Yeah, John, as you were stating. You meet this nice young lady, all you're dating, things going nice. All is well, they're taking it to the next level. Guys, when you say base 1, base 2, base 3. Hint, hint. Right? So, you're running in the scene, she nice job, she treating you good, mommy like she. When I'm saying, sent from heaven, straight up. Going to base 3 now, she tell you, John, I used to be a man. Write in the comments what you're going to do because you reached the base 3, that means you had, you kiss her, you hug up, you hold hands, you go to the movies, all these niceties happen. Mommy made she pretty. Yeah? What is your view? And not the ladies, the same question. The man handsome boy. Little too handsome. Answer? Looking good. Base 3 coming up. Everybody love him. He's spending the money. What you want, baby? I come in. Anything you want, you get in. Yes, I walking trophy in the book, everything nice. Before thing reach now, we telling you. I used to be a female. Where is the view? Write in the comments, people. What will be your next move? Chica, talk to me. What you would do?
Disclaimer.
You know why? No, I'm saying it in a funny way.
Yes. But no, I take it
I'm
very
saying it in
seriously
a
right
funny way.
now.
I have a partner in the States, it happened to him. You know when Trini go abroad, we really know this style. We meet her at a bar.
Yeah.
Nice girl, pretty. You don't know. Some of these people looking better than. Look, I can't call no name, but here I telling on you. So he got caught up. He was under the impression that it's only because she had to let him know, right, that before all of this is what I was. I only say it funny because you know me. But you have a good relationship going on. And at that moment, that question was posed to you. What is your next move?
John is saying funeral clothes, yes, but I have my checkpoints, Nobody reaching no base until I can confirm.
Well, John, they cut it off. So that is my point. We have people who have gone through the entire procedure. John, you don't even know, boy. They're going by the plastic surgeon, and that is my point. And here what I'm telling you, with my boy, when he went through that, she went through everything. He went through everything. So it had nothing. All the hormonal treatments because the young woman or the young man was very well off financially. So he could have afforded to do, when I tell you. He sent me a picture, fellas. John, I'm telling you, he sent me a picture. And I was saying, boy, good thing is you are not me. Because when I tell you, I couldn't tell the difference. I looking for Adam's apple. You know we look for Kennedy and Roger. We look the way it was put together. You know what I mean? So being honest before going even further. And you know what is the funny thing? The individual could have gone further and said nothing, because it had no way. But they decided to tell you the truth. I want to hear, ladies and men, what would be your next move? Shika, the next move.
Y'all, I'm not answering that question tonight.
Sonali, where's your next move? Come on. Lisa, where's your next move? What John said?
It's how about he said, see why I stayed inside.
John, they can't hide from it, boy.
So a lot of persons really and truly, they really wouldn't want to go down that path. That's just being honest, that's real. It all depends.
Seeing people typing away there.
Alright, so carry on saying, I would be shocked and maybe mad that he kept it from me. Slow down and try to work things out and talk some more.
Carry on?
Explain and explore his side and what made her change to a man. We might remain friends, but not sure if it will continue a relationship.
So this...
Thank you very much, Carry on.
Carry on now. You see?
Yeah.
Why?
Why what?
Why carry on?
Why she not going into a relationship?
Why, yeah?
Well, obvious. If she wants to have a relationship with somebody, if it is already, do the surgical procedure.
Yeah, but why?
We ain't too sure if they have sperm.
Yeah, but why?
Decide.
Why? Because I'd like to be devil's advocate. People, please bear with my mischievous side. We have covered topics based on relationship. And I made sure and said the relationship was perfect.
Can I actually...
Pick up yourself, Julie. Remember, I said the relationship was perfect up until the person told you the truth about their sex. So I'm asking Carrie Ann, you would trade a perfect relationship just because of the sex? Whereas all the other relationships you were having with the other sex was a failure?
No, there are different types of relationships.
I'm not talking about what Chica going to do. Chica breaks in.
I am not breaking anything.
Carry on, remember.
She could still have a relationship with the person.
Okay, no. You're going to change. That's my point. My point is, this is the issue at hand. We gain all kind of, remember they talk about man bad? John, talk to me. You know, we get a good, you know, all the time, all the relationships, man bad, right? You get a good one now. It happened now to be a woman. So you mashing up that because of the sex of the person. And that is total madness. That just goes to show how programmed we are. You see, that is the reality. So, irregardless, you can throw it at me or not. Because this is the thing. This is the thing. The only reason why you end in that relationship is because of the sex. That based upon what? What you believe.
Right, just
and I say no, again, everybody have their point of view. I like to play devil's advocate because I get, you see, I get in reactions, right? I will always put it across. You have a right to choose what partner you want. But I'm just saying from the third party, you're ending it because the person is not really a man or a woman. But you got a perfect relationship now. So you mashing up all of that. And going back to the sex that you want. And you was failing at the relationships all the time. Everyone is to their point of view.
So Lion, since you say that, playing devil's advocate, you're with a woman. Right? And you reach the third base as they say relationship going good. So when you keep the relationship with the trans woman, so it was really a man before, but it's really the transform into a woman, will you remain in a relationship with the person?
I can't really say it.
You can't really say it?
Yeah, I can't really say it. And I ain't say that because I take it the first bed. I can't really say it. Because this is me. And I'm going to remember I started off saying by I have my message board.
Yes.
Hot.
So, Lisa is saying my next move is that your dad wants to be a woman after all these years and why. We have John, I just wait for the garbage truck and throw him a whole set. Judy said, hell no. But we would have some work to do on finding out why she or he did it. Carrie Ann is saying, I would have preferred to know the truth, and he left me in the dark. I'm not judging him, but it would take time to get back to where we were.
And the reality is, if you didn't tell her the truth before, you see, that is the thing. Why women say that? The reality of the situation is, the reason why the person remember we spoke, and I like to bring things home, but we spoke about society view. We are society. That's why I put it towards you all. Because we like to say society view and put it out in the distance. But society is us.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. We just spoke and we said that the suicide rate of people of this persuasion is high because of society. You know, we could always throw it out of society. We are society. So after this person confess and confide, we being society, you hear what we just say? John 27 and rubbish. You go in and put them in the friend zone. Carry on.
I didn't say anything.
Carry on, going on, whatever. But my point is, right?
We have Sonali as well, and you.
But my point is, we are society.
Yes.
And this is what society has just done to this person. The person who gave you a perfect relationship. The person who was there, now remember I said, answer when you call, they come to your aid for help when you ask them. You see, that's a reality here. This was a social experiment, that's why I put it like that. We are society, and we just take that person who came when we called, when we was broken, help we out, when we needed a shoulder to cry on, we cry on the shoulder. And because now they don't fit in this, we take them and we dispose of them.
Alright, we are going to the message board. Sonali saying, honestly, I don't know. I would respect your honesty and as a person, but if I take thought and say let it continue, if you was a woman before, you better be taller than me when I step in my platforms. Karian is saying, of all honesty, I would have not been put off by him being a woman. Not because of his money, as long as he loves me right. Okay, so this is my thing. I know you asked Karian why she will friend zone the person, right? I'm just thinking in terms of Karian wanting to get married and even wanting to have a child.
Surrogate.
Right? But
yeah, surrogate.
What if the person wants to go through that whole process? Because now remember, not all persons go through the first surgical process they may not have.
Just remember, I mean, devil's advocate. So Chica just said the person wants to carry on, would have liked to have
a child, natural.
She wants, listen what Chica is saying. She's under the impression that because decision was made is because Karian wants to have a baby and go through the natural processes of having a baby, right? Really?
I'm just saying some people want to have that type of, and that's where, now that is where the whole, that's why knowing the difference between transgender. I'm not going to, I'm just explaining. Transgender, understanding that as well as the person's sexuality is important when making certain decisions.
That's why I'm playing devil's advocate.
Julia says, sometimes I wish I could get a good woman and settle down, so wouldn't mind if she turned into a man.
Excellent.
Karen is saying she don't mind adopting. And John is saying, theoretically, I understand where you're coming from. I am not ungrateful, but the deception in the beginning is too great.
John, they always deceiving
block
me.
And delete. Better than God is not beat and weary.
John, you're way. How much are you regular women and them deceive me? So Chica start. I just be devil's advocate. Why? Because we get responses now. Listen. Listen to this. Listen. Now remember I started off saying I have my issues with that. No, don't get it twisted. I come from the line, right? And that's what it is. But I would try always to try to understand, right? But the reason why I'm posing these things is see we getting that vibration, right? So hear me now, John. how much relationships he was in when the real woman deceived we. Boy, we even know how long she is, we getting deceived when we see she. We don't know if it's weave, we don't know if it's extensions, we don't know if that is she real shape. We getting deceived by women long time. Sorry. And now to touch on Chica taking the high road with Carrie Ann saying that she wants to get, here the topic, she wants to get a baby through natural scenarios, right? So that means she wants a male. You know, to go through that thing.
Yes.
Carrie Ann, it have women in this world that cannot make children. There are men who are impotent.
I was just
So
saying,
let's
what
say
if
with a man,
that's
no. If that, you see, that's my point. If the man, if it's a real man now, let me put it to you. If it's a real man and he is unable to have, yeah, so why I can, that's my point. If you could, that is my point. Society, which is us, have this view. So now all the responses is as, now remember there's a social experiment going on with all of us. It's a social experiment. We responding just like society, you know. Now I'm not saying you're wrong for having your view. I'm saying that within this experiment, we seeing how society behaves. If the man don't have the ability to make the child, I go at that. But remember, I just said you had a perfect relationship with this person. You was under pressure, the person come to your aid. You're broken, they come and they help you out. You had some bills pending, they call you. COVID come, you have no food, they buy groceries. I am giving you all a person. You know, we talk about human when it was okay, right? We was talking about human when it was all fine and dandy. But when you bring it home, we start to act just like society. I'm not saying it's right or wrong because it is one team and everybody view, right? Everybody view is correct, and again I'm saying to myself, I have my issues with that as well. I say this for me. I'm saying this, I have my issues with that kind of vibration. I'm being honest, I need to get a little more understanding myself.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying it's important. So okay, it come like I was just talking about earlier on, the man, the husband and wife, and the man, he dresses as a woman. He just dressed. He didn't change. He didn't get rid of his penis. He didn't add any breast implants, but he dressed as a female. Now for that wife, it was okay. But if it is a go through surgical procedures, right, then that makes it different. So okay, let us say you meet the man. He dressed as what a man. And then he say, listen, you know, I have some feminine qualities. Right?
The message one.
So I'm saying, I'm fed up. I go in and hide under a rock. I can't love a woman and shoot blanks. So there you have me, and I'm feeling sure I still love a woman, but the behavior is not good. Right? So it will have not, because society is changing.
Yeah,
because some persons are more open to different, you know, different things. You'll find that a woman might be okay with the man who remain with his whole reproductive, sexual and reproductive system, right? That they will be okay with the man dressing feminine whenever he feels like. They may be okay with it. It have some women like that. It might even have some men that will be okay if it is the woman dresses as, you know, a man.
Fellas.
Without changing anything, they can still have the child, they can still whatever. They have no problem with the dress code.
Fellas, she jump out at all in her straight jeans, a square tip, a short sleeve shirt, and a tie. Kevin, what you want to do? You're going out with the girlfriend, COVID done. First date night, things looking nice. You say, ah boy, COVID night done. We're going out and take a breeze. She pull up in her straight jeans, a square tip. A fitters on she had and a tie. How you dealing with that?
Well, Lisa, John is saying, all they lie, be honest. All they be honest, stop lying. Lisa is saying, John fed up. He can't take the topic. Lisa is laughing at John right now. That's what's taking place.
And John, boy, you know what I'm telling you. When my boy tell me about his scenario, I laugh at him because I don't want to be in that scenario. Where it is he really thought it was a female, she looking nice, you know, and you know, going to that next level, the person decided to be honest. And it was really, really hard. You know what the interesting thing, John? He was heartbroken. No, I ain't gonna say who my boy is because then I putting it on blast.
Yeah.
But you know what he told me? He said, boy, I had to question myself. Because when the person told him that, he had to pull square and really question his sexuality. Because he knew the person just told him I was a man. And it was hard for him to sever the tie.
And you see, and that is one of the reasons.
Because what he said is that the way he was treated, and there's a fella who straight, he not on that persuasion. But when he spoke to me, he told me, he said the way this person treated him, he had never been treated like that before. And even when the person told him about that difference, he had to try to his brain, because he weighed the way the person treated him, you know, up until he got the information. And he was saying it was hell for him to sever the relationship.
Exactly.
And it didn't get sexual as yet, based upon just the way that person treated him.
And I mean, that is something very serious. And that's why persons, you know, would say that they appreciate persons who would have, you know, trans to be upfront and be honest upfront. Yes, some of them may say, you know what, I was trying to protect myself because they may have had past experiences when they were upfront saying, I'm really, yeah. So it's have, and that is where the psychological challenges and psychological issues come about. Because imagine a male really, and he may be saying, also it's really a man who was attracted to me. Yeah. I attracted men, not women.
So right? They're really, yeah, what are you telling us?
So that would be very traumatizing. That would be that is a traumatic event.
Go to the message board, and after that I will tell you when my partner asks why, I will give you the rundown.
So John is saying deception again. The person deceived them. And plus, this is saying, and plus the person well know you understand. John is saying that's why he's telling you where I show something play off.
John boy, he would never tell me that. You understand?
So what is the reason?
So, you know, first question a man or woman will ask is why?
Yeah.
Because I get it. I laughing at him, I'm trying to get it juice. Johnny will be laughing too because I tell him, boy, I get thick. You understand? So he said when he asked the person, so why? Because everybody is being just like society right now. Yeah. Everybody is saying the person should have be upfront. The person should have tell them, come on, really? If you was that person, would you? Now here's the reality. He said, when he asked the person, why didn't tell him upfront? The person said in a previous relationship, before things started, they was honest and the male beat them. I want to let me now again. I am my hang up, sir. I am my hang up, sir.
It could have been a bad experience.
So
for that
we saying the person should have been honest, but you don't know from where that person coming from. Yeah. And when he told, now I laugh at that papa. I is the worst. I tell you, you could be. I different. I laugh at him, but I could hear the man feeling it, boy, and the man is not at that persuasion. And to hear when he's speaking about it now, he's saying that the person in the previous relationship, she was up front. He was up front. And the male turned around and beat him bad. So after that, the person was a little more intro to share that. The only reason why the person was up front because it was getting to a place where they thought they shouldn't continue unless. You know what I mean? So I see the message board. Get heavy.
So, but no sex, he got caught in the dark. So yes, so that's why, I mean, it's important. It is very hard, especially in this time and where a lot of persons are still not yet open in our Caribbean society. So people coming out, transgenders coming out and saying, and that's why they now have their own community. So they will be familiar with persons who are in their circle, so that it will be more comfortable for them to express themselves and form relationships. And it's only when it is something you get to know persons. So now remember, gender identity is different from sexuality. Right? Because somebody could be a homosexual, but it doesn't mean that they are transgender, meaning that they are dressing as, you know, male or female. Because we know that it have some females, they are only attracted to the same sex, which is female. They're just attracted to women, but it doesn't mean that they're gonna dress like a man, right? They may still dress as a woman and they are attracted to women. Then it have some men, yes, they are attracted to other men, but it doesn't mean to say that they're going to dress as female. So that gender identity and sexuality, yes, they put them under the same umbrella very often. You know, it's under the same umbrella when it comes to those, you know, who go through the surgical procedures, the transsexual, and that's why they say transsexual. It would have been an older term, but now they just say transgender, and it is different. So that's why we need to really like sit down and understand it. You know, go when this life is over, you could go and read up on all there is when it comes to it, so that when we reach on the topic of sexuality, then we will have even a more clear understanding of the difference between the gender identity and sexuality and how it affects the relationships that we have with each other.
And the message board is going wild as usual.
John, right here already, and he says saying John have a week. Today is saying I would wait it out and see how things go before I say anything. Because you want to know his mindset before.
Kevin as well has a...
no, it's not. That was an older message.
Right? So people, the next topic would be sexuality along the lines of this very interesting scenario that the world is opening up to, and some countries have already legalized certain things and really put laws in place to protect. Reason being that they have been abused so much by every race. You know, it is for every race they hate every race, you know, it's kind of strange. But you know, I will not equate it to the struggles of Africans, because you can't. You see, the reason why I won't equate it is because the struggle of our race outweighs the struggle of a behavior. And I need to be clear on that, because I know some of the liberalists and them would say that it's same. It's not. The struggle of a race,
it's different.
A race of people is totally different, right? So the next topic will be sexuality, and we will be delving into bisexual, and homosexual, heterosexual, and we will list the different. So them and those who want to be educated, feel free. This is not a bacchanal section, but we have a bacchanal chat, and we try to keep it clean, and we keep it respectful, and we appreciate all points of view in this scenario.
Right, John is saying I only want to have ladies week. Miss Lisa, I hope there aren't any secrets on the live here. Don't deceive me, please.
Boy, the woman them deceiving you faster. You want to tell you, right? So, it's your boy Lion.
And a girl Chica J.
The next topic is
sexuality. What is yours?
So if you're looking at this on YouTube, remember to
subscribe.
And if you're watching this on Facebook,
like and share.
We go on them going on them there or something like that.